Nope, ride's over. You guys need to get out. Get out right now.
No, baby.
No, ride's over. Get out.
I'm calling you.
Thanks, Rich.
Okay. I got you on dash cam, dude.
That guy.
I got you on dash cam, dude.
No, I didn't stay in your car.
Driver's self-defense. The thing is, though, this is a common occurrence. At least it's not just some one-off psycho having a bad night. Being in any sort of service industry puts you at the will of other people, and sometimes they don't have the best of intentions.
I need you guys to get seatbelts on.
Sitting around waiting for his customers to get in, this driver's already seemingly on high alert. His customers are clearly drunk, which can mean just about anything in terms of their behavior. Are they going to be abusive or rowdy in his backseat? It takes a few moments for them to settle down, but eventually the three of them start going. This driver wasn't messing around though. The couple tell him to shut up in his car and he kicks them out in response.
They're everywhere tonight.
You know what?
There's some
Don't
crazy...
talk to me right now. Can you put the music up? No, put the music up. I want to talk.
Alright, ride's over. Ride's over.
Perfect.
Ride's over.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Nope,
it's perfect.
ride's over. You guys need to get out. Get out right now.
No, baby.
No, ride's over.
In
Get
the
out.
meantime, I'm calling
Get
your
out.
phone.
Cancel.
I was saying, no. I was in the car, baby. I've been here before.
Hey, you want to with me, Huh?
Thing about this is, you're not entitled to a ride. Uber would have refunded their money. They push back though, which sets off the man, who pulls out a weapon. This sends them running, but not without making their own move. They scatter out each of the doors, taking a swipe at the driver on the way out.
Look at that. Baby, don't touch him.
Hey!
Don't touch him!
Hey!
You're on camera! You're on camera! You're on camera!
Yeah, you guys are both on camera.
You're on camera!
Get your shit, get out. Get your shit, get out. Right now.
Stop acting crazy! You're acting crazy! Crazy!
What are you reporting?
He's being crazy. 911. My Uber driver. In here.
I've already got you guys on camera. The police are already on. Get out of my car right now. Get out. I'm not around. Get out. Hey, I need police at movie studio grill right now. I'm driving Lyft. These guys are getting violent with me. Yes, in Rockland. These guys are getting violent with me. Get out. Get out of my car. Right now.
He's very livid.
Get out.
He hit me in the face. He's very livid.
No, she attacked me. I've got it all on camera.
No.
I've got it all on camera.
No.
Get out. Now.
No.
Get out of my
There's
car
no camera.
now. Ride's over. You have no right
I
to be
never
here.
hit you.
Right, you attacked me already. You assaulted
Okay.
me. You assaulted me. And this fucking cocksucker assaulted me.
Girl parking lot?
Yeah. I need the police here right now.
Self-driving car hits pedestrian. In this video, a customer is driving in one of Uber's self-driving cars. They're not steering or really paying that much attention to the road, as the car is supposed to be able to drive itself and avoid obstacles on its own. There's a camera on the car that records the inside of the vehicle and another one that records the front of the vehicle. The car is driving down the street at night when all of a sudden, seemingly out of nowhere, the car hits a pedestrian who is jaywalking across the street. The customer inside the car has a look of pure horror on their face as the car hits the pedestrian without stopping. Video footage reveals what happened to missing Uber driver. On February 11th of 2022, Christy Spacuzzi's family filed a missing persons report with Pennsylvania police after she didn't return home from her job the night before. Christy worked as an Uber driver at the time of her disappearance, which is why her family was so concerned about her, thinking that she could have possibly been involved in an accident or had a bad run-in with a creepy customer. The police were able to find Christy's car the day after the report was filed and found Christy's body in the woods nearby. Christy had a dashcam video camera in her car to record her rides, so she was able to capture the moments leading up to her death. The video was used in court as evidence and released to the public after her killer was convicted. In the video, Christy picks up the customer.
Hi, Fortunea. How are you today?
She's very nice and politely asks him how his night's going, but he doesn't really respond to her. Christy's customer would later be identified as Calvin Crew. Calvin was wearing a hood over his head and a mask that covered most of his face. In the video, the only thing visible are his eyes. As they drive, Calvin scoots behind Christy and threatens her.
What are you doing?
This is a gun. Keep driving.
No, it's not. Stop. Come on, man. I got a family. What are you
I got
doing?
a family too. Now drive.
She tells him that she's a mom of 4 and she'll give him anything he wants. Calvin switches off the dashboard camera and the video ends. Police were able to find out that Calvin would force Christy to drive for another hour and force her to give him access to all of her bank accounts so that he could transfer money to himself before ending her life. Last moments of Samantha Josephine. Samantha Josephine's body was found by hunters in the woods. Her friends and family hadn't seen her since she left a bar a few nights before. Police checked security cameras outside the bar to get clues on where she may have gone. There's nothing suspicious about the video footage of her last moments. She's seen leaving a bar, looking at her phone, then getting into an Uber. However, as the police did more investigating, they realized that the car she had gotten into was not her Uber. The car that she had got into and left the bar in wasn't the car she had ordered on the app. The police were able to locate the driver of the vehicle she had gotten into, and he confessed to being responsible for her death. Knife heist and backseat. At the end of the day, it's never going to be a dull night. If you're driving people at night in the early mornings when most people would be in bed, you're left with whatever's still out there. High, drunk, maybe even desperate. It's hard to know what you're going to deal with on your next night driving. You'd think people would be happy to be able to catch a ride. Instead, they take things a bit too far. A couple joins the driver, though we can only really see the man. He looks just a bit shifty. He doesn't try to hide his face, but does seem to be looking around. When he does speak, it seems a little aggressive. At this point, it already feels a bit like an uncomfortable situation. The man's acting a bit off, and the driver probably wasn't having much fun himself. Suddenly, the man in the back perks up when they're approaching the destination. He looks much more alive than he had before. Suddenly, he has the man stop the car and puts a knife against the driver's neck. The driver is quick enough to get himself away, pushing the knife and getting himself out of the car. The assailants aren't fast enough to catch up, but manage to steal the debit terminal and some of the driver's personal assets. Given what was at stake, however, he made it off with just a few cuts. This was probably the best this situation could have gone. Uber driver saves young woman. This video was recorded by the Uber driver's dashboard camera. In the video, he pulls over to pick up his passenger. When the back door opens, a commotion can be heard coming from outside the vehicle.
Can you close it? What is your problem? Oh my God,
Hey, back off, man! Back off!
It sounds like a woman telling a man to stop, but he keeps harassing her. The Uber driver tries to shout at the guy, but he won't stop harassing the girl. The driver gets out of his seat and can be heard yelling at the man.
The door, I'm gonna snap out! Oh my God.
Back up right now!
Alright, just want to ask what's going on.
Back off!
I'm backing up, man.
He helps the girl get in the car. She's sobbing uncontrollably.
I just really need to leave and I'll be fine.
Alright.
He drives away and begins to take her to her destination. It's lucky for the woman that the Uber driver was there because the man seemed to be very aggressive.
Do you need
I just
law
really need,
enforcement
Turn
or
right, then make a U-turn on Snyder
no, I'll be
Avenue.
fine. I just really need to
get the hell out of here? Okay. Alright.
Couple experiences nightmare Uber ride. A couple from Virginia began live streaming their Uber ride on Facebook after the driver started driving incredibly recklessly.
Kept going. That was the scariest moment of my life.
The couple states that another car hit their Uber driver's vehicle and sped away. Their Uber driver became very angry and chased after the car, ignoring the couple's cries to stop and let them out.
Hey, bruh.
Bro, I can't let this guy go.
Oh my God. Hey, yo. Oh my God.
We gotta stop it because I got 4 kids.
The Uber driver sped through multiple red lights as it tried to catch up to the other vehicle. Eventually, the inevitable happened and the Uber driver, along with a couple inside, were hit by another car after the driver went through another red light.
Oh! Ow! Oh my God, shorty!
What's happening?
Somebody just hit us.
Luckily, the couple didn't sustain any serious injuries, but they did state that it was extremely traumatizing for both of them. Creepy Uber driver scares passenger. A young woman took a video during her Uber ride to record what her Uber driver was saying to her.
No, I didn't stay in your car.
The video opens up with him saying, "No, no, no, you will stay in my car." The woman looks extremely uncomfortable. She responds by saying, "No, I want to go home." The driver asks her why.
Why?
Because I don't want to stay in the car.
No, because you don't want to go back to sleep. Then. You don't want to go back to home then.
He then tells her that she'll stay with him until he finishes work.
You will work with me until 5.
The video ends, but fortunately, the girl was back home safely.
Go home.
No, you will work with me until 5.
No, I go home.
Teenage girls try to carjack Uber driver. This video was taken by a passerby who witnessed the entire event. Two teenage girls, only 15 and 13 years old, tried to carjack an Uber driver's car. The two girls got into the vehicle while the driver was standing outside the car. The driver tries to get back in and get back control of the vehicle. The girls drive off while the Uber driver is still hanging on to it.
She's stealing their car.
You're still in the car.
Yeah, we called the cop. Call the cop.
They drive away pretty recklessly, which makes sense because they legally aren't even allowed to drive yet, and the driver is just hanging on for dear life.
These girls stole the car. Hey, they stole the car. They stole the car.
Late night Uber attack. The last thing you want to deal with when driving for Uber or Lyft is a rowdy customer. There aren't that many ways to protect yourself when you're behind the wheel. From other cars, sure, you can do your best, but what about from your own back seat? This driver learned the hard way that not every night is going to go smoothly. In the bustling city of Phoenix, amidst the scorching heat and bustling traffic, an Uber driver finds himself embarking on a journey filled with twists and turns. He tirelessly navigates through the maze of streets, going back and forth in an attempt to locate his elusive next customer. The perplexing situation unfolds as the passenger seems to be in different locations, forcing the driver to decipher a series of repetitive, direct instructions on where and how to find him. It takes a few minutes. Maybe the directions weren't all that good, or maybe the driver was further than he thought. Either way, when he finally gets to where he needs to be, that's when everything goes really south.
Yeah, so how'd you way down there next to the freeway, man?
No, I saw it.
It's right here.
You just don't know how to get there. That's all it is, man.
It's literally right
it's
here.
That simple. It shows me here, and you got lost. That's all it is.
I didn't get lost at all.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't.
It's fine.
Okay.
When he finally gets into the back of the car, the two men begin to argue nearly immediately. Back and forth, they try and decide who's right and who's wrong. Suddenly, the man snaps, grabbing and punching at the driver violently.
Okay. Get out.
But guess what? You can drive your home though, right?
No, I can't. I'm not
Why?
Not doing it now because you're being a dick.
Come on, I'm not being a dick, bro.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not, though.
Yes, you are.
No,
You're
I'm
being a
not.
dick. Yes, you are.
You really want to drive me home, bro?
No, I won't.
Wow, dude. All right.
Yeah.
Fix that shit, asshole.
Bye-bye.
Keep for that shit, Brett.
Kidding me?
Keep for that shit, Bridge.
Okay. I got you on dash cam, dude.
That guy.
I got you on dash cam, dude.
Oh, man.
He catches the whole altercation on dashcam, thankfully. Though the man might have gotten away, we can see just how dangerous driving for work this late can be. Taxi pulls over for ghost. In this video, a taxi driver pulls over to pick up a woman on the side of the road. She's dressed all in white. However, when the taxi driver pulls over and opens the door for her, she's not there. The driver gets out of the car to look for her, but she's seemingly vanished into thin air. This incident happened in Japan shortly after a devastating tsunami. People have speculated that it was the ghost of a woman killed in the disaster. Ghost gets into cab. In this video, taken from a CCTV camera, people can be seen hailing taxi cabs. One man hails a cab, but when the cab pulls up and the man starts to walk towards the car, a shadow appears behind him. The shadow follows the man as he gets into the cab and disappears into the cab with him. The shadow hadn't been there in the beginning of the video when the man first approached the curb to hail the cab. Ghost in the back of taxi. In this video, a taxi driver is driving at night. The camera has a full view of the empty back seat. Shadows pass through the car as the car passes under the street lamps. However, one shadow forms and stays. It looks exactly like a person in shadow form. It lingers for a few seconds in the back of the car and then disappears. The driver didn't seem to notice. Cab driver runs over woman. In this video, a camera is recording what's in front of the car and another camera records the inside of the car. The driver of the cab is driving his car early in the morning. In front of him, it looks like something is on the road ahead of him. It's a woman laying face down in the middle of the road. However, it doesn't really look like a person. The driver, unaware, runs the woman over. It must have been a big bump though, because he seemed shocked after the fact, possibly realizing he hit something a lot larger than what he had originally thought was in the road. Tragically, the woman died of her injuries and the driver was arrested for a hit and run.